So I did a video not long ago about why I thought that Rey from Star Wars was not a Mary Sue. Examining what a Mary Sue is, looking at Rey in the trilogy, she doesn't actually check all the boxes to be a Mary Sue. Now, the majority of my argument came around from her portrayal in Episode 7 with Episode 8 as a follow-up. I do admit by Episode 9 her character becomes a mess, which being a mess is not the same thing as being a Mary Sue. I think by Episode 9 my problem with Rey is that she was really just more of a plot device than an actual character. And in a way a Mary Sue is like that. However, how Rey varies is in Episode 9, she's still dealing with a lot of interpersonal conflict, and not everyone in the story likes her. And that's one of the things about being a Mary Sue, is that the character just has to be really popular within the plot itself. Now, once again, let's take a look at the definition of Mary Sue. A type of female character who is depicted as unrealistically lacking in flaws or weaknesses. That's the simplest definition, but I also really like this definition here, which I used in my last video. A Mary Sue is a generic name for any fictional character who is so competent or perfect that this appears absurd even in the context of the fictional setting. Mary Sues are often an author's self-insertion or wish fulfillment. Now, usually when someone argues against a character being a Mary Sue, it's because they don't think that that is an actual phenomenon in writing. Their defense will be that to accuse a character of being a Mary Sue is actually sexist. And I would agree it's sexist if someone thinks that character arc only applies to female characters, or certain female characters, I should say. There's actually quite a few male characters I can think of that would fit a very similar arc, and I've actually heard there is like a term for like a male version of Mary Sue, but you never hear anyone use it. It's just always Mary Sue. And it's generally discussed with female characters. So I wanted to take a look at another cinematic Mary Sue so I could show the difference between what a real Mary Sue looks like and what a character that just has design and writing problems looks like. So I'd say one of the best examples we've seen in a Mary Sue on screen in recent years is Captain Marvel from the Avengers franchise. So what is it about Captain Marvel then that makes her a Mary Sue? Well, first of all, for the bulk of her standalone movie, she actually doesn't fit the type of Mary Sue. But despite starting as an interesting character with secrets and weaknesses, she ends up entirely as a cookie-cutter example of a Mary Sue, with no signs the character will ever be anything else. So again, how is she a Mary Sue? Well, first of all, let's take a look at, again, I said, I don't think that she really started in the first part of the movie as a Mary Sue, and here's why. If you've seen the film, you know that throughout the movie, even though she's not aware of it, she actually is extremely, extremely powerful. She's basically a Tesseract or an Infinity Gem as a person, which we know from the Avengers movies is just about as powerful as anyone can get. However, for much of the movie, she isn't aware that she has those powers. And because of Kree technology that's been applied to her, those powers are actually moderated and restricted. She has access only to as much as the Krees allow her. But because she's brainwashed, she believes that they're actually giving her power, not limiting her power. Now, that's not to say that all Mary Sues need to be godlike to be considered a Mary Sue. It's just simply to say that in action scenes that take place throughout the movie, she struggles. I mean, she does well, but she has limitations. She feels her life's in danger. She can't always stop the bad guys, so to speak, and the drama of conflict moves forward. Also, during this time in the movie, she's unaware of her true past, but she is aware that something is wrong. She knows that she's got these other memories, or she's not really sure if they're memories, but she senses that something's missing. And of course, the audience can tell, like, oh, the Kree have done something to her. And there's a sense of drama and suspense about who she is and what it will do to take to get her memories back. But she does get her memories back, and by the end of the movie, she has no character defects. Everyone thinks she's cool. Everyone likes her, except for the Kree, who of course are evil, but even they respect her power, and there's no more sense of drama. Now, if this were a standalone movie and it was just a matter of her riding off to the sunset, that's just perfectly fine for an ending. But this is a series of movies, a long-running, well-established series of movies before she was introduced. And anyone who gets their own movie is obviously intent to come back, which in this case we knew that in 2 months later she would be appearing in the next Avengers movie. And when she does come back for Endgames, she's so Mary Sue. She's so incredibly powerful, they have to leave her out much of the movie just for there to be drama in it. Everyone is awed by her, everyone admires her or thinks she's cool. Everyone supposedly, except for Rhodey, everyone who goes on the mission to kill Thanos on that garden planet has lost something because of his Thanos snap. So we get a sense that they all have something at stake. But what does Captain Marvel have at stake? What, the Nick Fury disappeared? She doesn't really know him that well. She just went with him on a mission for a few days 20 years ago, and then she hasn't seen him since. There was no really sense that they had any kind of bond or anything. If anything, the Thanos snap seems like it's more just an inconvenience for her. Almost like a bother that she's got to go deal with this. And the problem with the Mary Sue, the problem with Captain Marvel, is that because she's effectively won in every way, that she's liked by everyone, and that she's so powerful and she pretty much can do whatever she wants, and there is no sense of drama about her either personally or as a superhero, I honestly don't care what happens to the character next. And that's not a commentary on Brie Larson's performance. I think she did a fine job. It's just that, what should I get excited about this character? Who is she going to go fight? Who is she going to beat? What sort of conflict is she going to have in future movies that is going to be really dramatic and make me feel some sort of suspense and make me worry about the character, which is something you should do with a good character, even though you know the movie is going to be written in such a way the character is going to win in the end. You still feel that sense of drama and suspense, like, oh no, how's the character going to get out of it now? Now again, this lack of drama isn't necessarily related to how powerful a character is. How powerful a character is does not make a character a Mary Sue, at least not in and of itself. It can be a part of the package, but there are Mary Sues out there that are not superhuman characters at all. The key to being a Mary Sue is that utter lack of personal drama. Again, that everyone likes you, everything goes your way, not just in the adventure, but also in personal life. You seem to have no personality flaws, not that you don't necessarily have any flaws with your superpowers. A good example of this is to take a look at Superman. The Superman is a character who's basically unstoppable. In the whole history of the character, they've basically put no limits on his strength, his speed. He's at different times even had crazy powers more beyond just the, typical X-ray vision or flight or superhuman strength. And in the hands of some writers, Superman comes off as a Mary Sue. When Clark Kent is extremely likable, when he have to seem no problems, he's got the woman of his dreams. Superman is beloved by everyone in Metropolis. He always wins. But there are a lot of stories out there in comic books, TV, and movie where Superman, he has this unlimited power, but he has a lot of personal drama. In those stories, Superman may be a winner, but Clark Kent isn't, and he has to live with that. And then sometimes they show him that being too powerful in itself is a problem. And it's struggles such as those that make Superman an enjoyable character to follow in some of the movies, TV shows, and comic books. Anyway, appreciate you watching the video. I just want to go to the subject a little more and kind of elaborate with an example of where I thought Mary Sueism does exist. If you like this video, do all the usual stuff, like, subscribe. You can leave me comments. Anyway, thanks again, and I will talk to you guys later.